How's everybody doing today? Today I'm coming at you with a viewer requested video. I had somebody watch the recommended sliders video that I have here on the channel, recommended sliders and settings, and they requested that we do a gameplay just to show what it's like to play on those sliders and what the gameplay product looks like. So what I'm going to do, I have this online league here with my friends that I plan to show you guys a little bit of as we go, maybe make a series of it. I just haven't gotten a chance to yet. We had I've been quite busy recently over the past couple days with work and everything, so I just haven't gotten around to making these in-depth series yet. But I'm also going to do a bit of a channel update here while we're in this video, so stay tuned for some of the updates that I'm going to run you guys through as I do this. I just want to show you guys that on the gameplay sliders, these are going to be relatively close to, maybe slightly different from what I had shown in the previous video. These might be, slightly different, but generally speaking, they're still the same. Penalty sliders are decently high. We took down face mask is one noticeable one, just to the base 50, because we had been noticing way too many face masks. So we took that one down, but everything else is pretty close to what it was in that video. I mean, we tweak them every now and then, just depending on what happens in our franchises. Like if we're noticing too much of one type of thing, then we tweak it and turn that down a little bit. So keep that in mind for when you guys are playing. Even if I recommend sliders for you guys, go in and tweak them based on how you're playing. If you see too many face mask penalties, then go ahead and turn the face mask slider down or something like that. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump into the gameplay. We're 2-2 here with the Redskins. We had a tough loss last week to the Panthers, low scoring game. We actually drafted Reid as our quarterback, so we're going ahead and rolling with Reid. Our receiving squad is young and really kind of tough to work with, but our O-line is decent, and our defense is by far the best part of this team. We got nice, young, fast linebackers. We moved Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie to free safety in this franchise. He just wasn't working out at corner quite the way I wanted to. I don't know if it's because we created him as a player, being that he's not in the game whenever you start in Super Bowl week or what, but I moved him to safety, so we'll see how he plays this week. And then our starting corners aren't particularly great, but they're very fast, so interesting thing there. I'm just going to jump into the gameplay, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you guys enjoy at least seeing some gameplay on these sliders, so you guys can kind of see what it's like before you actually go ahead and test out these sliders yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and go into advanced setting. I run custom playbook in this franchise because it's an online franchise, and we're playing against the Patriots, so it could be a tough game. We'll see. But we'll go ahead and let this load in, and I'll start talking about some channel updates here. So MLB The Show 20, is it, or 19, is coming out this following week, coming out on Tuesday. So big channel update there. Hopefully you guys are interested in MLB The Show, but I plan on bringing some different series on MLB The Show, different tips and tricks like I do here on Madden, but I'm also probably going to do a franchise series. I don't know how exactly I'm going to play it, but let me know down in the comment section what you guys think you'd like to see, whether you'd like to see me play entire games or partial games or simulate. They have all types of different features in the game, so I can pretty much do a franchise just about any way you guys desire. So I do plan on bringing you guys MLB content whenever that game comes out. We have it scheduled to arrive on Tuesday, and I'm actually going to go in, I apologize, and turn down the volume settings if I can, because it's really loud for me here in the background. These are actually, if you are watching this for the sliders, the gameplay on the sliders, go ahead and check out these volume settings. Take a quick picture of them. This is what we have them on as kind of like a realistic slider setting for the volume as well. We got this off of OSFM. It works pretty well. It's a nice audio mix for actual gameplay to make it feel like an immersive experience. So go ahead and switch your audio sliders to that as well to see what you think of that. But like I said, I'm turning that down a little bit so I can speak to you guys. Like I said, I'm going to try and bring you guys some MLB gameplay here whenever it comes out next week. It's going to be Tuesday. I might get it Wednesday depending on how it ships and everything, but shouldn't be too much of a big deal for us. But I am going to also continue to bring in as much Madden content as I can mixed in there. My next episode here, I believe, tomorrow is going to be a continuation of that Cincinnati Bengals relocation. I haven't done an episode of that in a little while. I just hadn't had the time, so we're going to go ahead and bring you an episode of that tomorrow. And then it's just going to be a mishmash, I guess is the word I want to use. It's going to be a mishmash of content in between then and when MLB comes out, so we'll just see what happens. But be on the lookout for that Bengals franchise if you want to see that tomorrow, and MLB content next week whenever the game comes out. So I hope you guys are in the mood to watch some MLB. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. If you're interested, leave a like on this video if you're interested in seeing this gameplay under the recommended sliders and everything. Keep in mind that I am really good against the AI on all Madden, so I could potentially blow this team out pretty bad, and you might end up with a really unrealistic score. But there's also times whenever I am not the greatest. As you can see, I'm 2-2 in this franchise, so it is possible that we end up with a realistic result. So just bear that in mind as we play along here. We'll go ahead and accept that holding penalty. They're going to come out on 3rd down. And we're going to go with a quarter cover 3 spy. We're going to force Tom Brady to throw it deep. I know it's not necessarily the best decision. We're going to bring a blitz here. Hopefully everybody covers over the top. We're playing the ball. So who was that? Newman? Edelman. Duh, I should have known that by number 11. These sliders are actually pretty realistic in the sense that I feel like you're going to get, if you're not the best at the game, even if you are really good at the game like I am, most of the time you're going to get pretty realistic scores. So that's kind of the bonus of these sliders that we're playing on. I believe it's 7-minute quarters with 7-minute quarters, 18-second Excel clock, so you're going to get pretty realistic scores out of this, and it's going to work out that if you're playing bad teams, you'll win. If you're playing, teams that are the same overall as your team, it's going to be a pretty even matchup, and if you play teams that are way better than you, you're going to struggle to beat them, and you're going to have to really play your ass off to be able to beat those teams. That's the kind of the bonus of these sliders that we have here. So hopefully you guys give them a chance and at least see if you like them. There is a lot of broken tackles, so keep that in mind, but kind of the point of that is that in the NFL there are quite a lot of broken tackles on any given play, and you kind of have to also give the AI a chance to kind of match up evenly with you, or else you're just going to run away with the game if you're decent enough, or the AI is going to run away with the game if you don't adjust the sliders at all, because the AI on all Madden is really OP. So you have to keep these things in mind. As you can see, they are able to kind of move the ball on these settings, even if they're backed up into long yardage situations. You've seen already here a couple times that they've been able to move the ball. So that is something that is definitely worth noting on these settings. And I find that teams play a lot more realistic on these settings. As you can see with the Patriots, they've thrown the ball 5 times so far, and they've run the ball once, I believe. Maybe not even once. So I've tended to notice that when you play on these sliders, the AI makes smarter decisions, and they play more like their real-life counterparts. So, take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, it could be totally different for you guys when you play, but that's just what I've noticed. I've noticed that the teams seem to play a lot more similar to what their actual in real-life counterparts play as. You also see, you won't see quite as many glitches as you will with standard sliders or anything like that. I've noticed that a lot of the time what you'll notice, or what you'll see, is that you'll get a lot of batted balls, and you'll get a lot of, like 1- and 2-yard gain plays, which is like primarily what you see in the NFL, something that I notice a lot on the base sliders is that the AI are either going for a big play or they're going for negative yardage. So that's something that is kind of different on these settings, is that they're either getting a couple yard gain, sometimes stop for no gain. Occasionally you can get a negative play, or they're going for a positive play. It's more of a variety. I notice a lot more animations as well with this. Turning down the tackling setting, though, you're going to end up with a lot more broken tackles, and it can be a lot more frustrating. You're going to see a lot more animations, and it's much more of a unique experience, to be honest. There we go. Nice little kick return there. That should set us up in good field position. Patriots doing what the Patriots do best, working their way down the field, getting a touchdown on the first drive, and kind of putting us on our heels here early. I'm going to try and just power one forward on first down. Darius Geis, nice 7-yard carry. Offensive line, like I said, pretty good on this team. The run game really carries this team more than anything. Tyree Jackson, I think it was last game, had a really good game. One of the past 2 games, he had a really good game out. I've played a couple users already. That's how I have 1 loss on the record. But see, that's what I'm talking about there. That type of animation. Yeah, it's not necessarily crazy realistic for him to break a tackle like that, but you're going to get a lot more animations in the open field like that than you would if you're just playing on the standard sliders or you're playing on another set of sliders. If you guys are enjoying this video, if you appreciate the fact that I'm willing to come out here and show you guys stuff like this, and I'm willing to help you guys out in any way I can, you know, give you tips, tricks, you know, give you a friend request and help you out, you know, multiple different ways. Let me know by leaving a like on the video. Go down right now, hit a like on it. That definitely helps me out, lets me know that you guys appreciate what I'm doing here. And so consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. I definitely like to get you guys as much content as you can, and I like to tailor it to the viewers. So if you have something specific you want to see, something specific you're struggling with, it doesn't even have to be on Madden. It could be any other game. Please, just let me know down in the comment section, hit me up, and I'll do my best to kind of feed you guys the content that you need to help you get better at whatever game it is, and maybe even in the process, you guys could help me learn a thing or two. There we go, Jordan Reid with a nice catch and run into the end zone. Mismatch on Van Noy there. Jordan Reid, an incredible athlete at tight end. Probably my main offensive weapon, I guess aside from Darius Geis, one of my best offensive weapons anyway. So as you can see, through 1 quarter, it's a 7-7 game. Now, obviously, we're not going to have the correct. You could play this on like 15-minute quarters and switch it up a little bit. Obviously, we're not going to have the correct number of possessions because, you know, in a real NFL game, it's 15-minute quarters. The possessions go back and forth quite a bit, but that's a realistic score through 1 quarter, 7-7. You know, pretty good game so far. It's exactly what you would expect out of what would be a bit of an offensive battle here between these 2 teams. That's going to be a false start. Yeah, and this video is going to be a little bit longer too. So if you stuck around for the channel updates, the primary channel update was about MLB. Additionally, I'm going to be trying to bring you guys the next episode, like I said, of the Cincinnati Bengals relocation franchise. If you guys haven't given that a look yet, please go ahead and check that out. I'm having a lot of fun in that franchise. Our team's not doing so hot. I think we have a positive record, but the team just needs a lot of work, and we're planning on doing that in the off-season. So if you guys like to see that, definitely stick around for a couple episodes from now whenever we do the off-season. That's a big hit, I believe, by Reuben Foster, by Reuben Foster, and Devin White gets the fumble recovery. So first possession of the second quarter, we're going to get a big break going the other way here. Doing a good job so far moving the ball here. I want to call play action, see if I can get the tight end open in the end zone. This seems like a good opportunity to do it. And we might have the matchup here. There's no corner on Jordan Reid. Jordan Reid should have a favorable matchup going out here, as long as we don't get sacked. We brought the blitz. Dante Hightower got open. No problems with that. I just failed to pick up that blitz. I should have known that was coming because I saw he was coming off the edge. Go ahead and get a nice 24-yard run by Tyree Jackson. That's what I like to see. We're going to try and go with some Wildcat here and just go with a blast up the middle. See if we can get a good push with the heavy set here. And we are... Darius Geis gives a nice little stiff arm, gets into the end zone for another 7. That gives us the lead. Hopefully 14-7 here, as long as we make the extra point. And I will actually show you guys after this game what the score of my games have been so far this season, so you guys can see, you know, what the sliders actually give you. Score-wise, I've played 2 user games, 2 AI games, so you'll get a decent little sample size, and this will be my 3rd AI game, actually, so you get a decent little sample size of what the scores kind of look like, what the stats look like off of these gameplay settings. So, I mean, like I said, 14-7, 5 minutes left in the first half. This is a decently realistic score so far. There are times where I'll start to run away with it if I get like another pick or a fumble twice in a row. But there's not a ton I can do about it. The Patriots team kind of was ravaged a little bit in the off season. A lot of their players regressed because they're getting older. So not a whole lot we can do about that, but a decent matchup here, I think. So, I don't know if you guys recognize that there, but it seems like, at least to me, the AI does a decent job of deciding when and where to place the ball. So on that matchup, they recognized that the right side was open and ran it to the right side for a nice little gain. Just my opinion, it seems like they did that on purpose. Tom Brady with a nice dot to Gronkowski. Wasn't able to get over there in time with Cromartie. And then this is another thing. So a lot of people complain about Madden, how if you play on old Madden, the quarterback has like a perfect QBR, and they're always throwing, they're like 20 for 20 by the end of the game. But as you can see, Tom Brady 6 for 11, 110 yards and a touchdown. Like that's, to me, that seems like a pretty realistic stat line, at least far more realistic than the base sliders. So take that for what you will. You guys might interpret that differently. You know, my defense has been breaking up some passes, but that's how this slider set is designed. It's designed so that the quarterback's not quite as accurate, but at the same time, the defense reacts a little bit better and is able to break up some passes. And Tom Brady's on the better side of quarterbacks, so he's going to have a higher QBR, higher completion percentage, so obviously that's going to be a little bit different for him. And when you play worse quarterbacks, you'll notice that they're not going to play as well. So that's kind of the goal of this, is to make it realistic. When you play worse teams, worse players, they're not going to play as well as when you play a Patriots team. They do seem to be going with a heck of a lot of heavy sets here, though, which is a little odd. But what that tells me is I want to spotlight Gronkowski, because tight end usually ends up open in these types of sets. I'm just going to come out on the base 3-4, adjust the linebackers over, bring Collins down. Brady makes a nice pass. I believe they draft who? Is that N'Keal Harry? Well, I believe they drafted N'Keal Harry. Yep. Nice play by Tom Brady. I'm going to go with a bit of a different blitz, maybe a safety blitz here. I'm going to try and cover in the middle here. I know this is a D lineman, but... Oh, there we go, and Reuben Foster with a beautiful jump ball. As you can see, the opposing team's quarterbacks are not immune to bad throws or interceptions. And Reuben Foster, we're actually going to manage to go all the way on the pick six. That's going to be like a 92-yard pick six, 94 yards. A beautiful play there. So this is actually how I have my team tailored. I want to show you guys the replay on this because this is going to be a longer video and it's kind of important to show. So I have my linebackers tailored to pass coverage. All four of them. I made sure... Sorry about that. I made sure that all four of my linebackers are tailored so that they can pass cover. I drop them back in zones, and they do really well in the red zone. Well, that's what you'll see here. Reuben Foster does a great job of reading this slant route, or drag, whatever that happens to be. I believe that's a slant, but it looks like it might be a drag. Reuben Foster does a great job of reading that. And if Tom Brady would have waited, he could have potentially had a receiver open in the back corner of the end zone. But Reuben Foster does a great job of reading it, jumps the ball, and then takes it all the way for a touchdown. So, and that was another thing, is I was able to escape that tackle at the end, which is maybe a little bit more realistic because, as you can see, it was not a defensive player trying to tackle me. And a lot of times, whenever you have big returns like that, it's kind of easier to break those tackles. It was a halfback. And that's kind of what happens in real life. A lot of those long returns, those guys avoid a tackle or two. On the regular roster, you're not going to be able to avoid that tackle. You're going to get brought down from behind, and obviously that's going to be frustrating. You want to have those big plays. When you get a pick like that, you want it to go for 6, and you want to at least have the chance to avoid that tackle. So it gave me a tackle battle, and I pressed it, and it was able to pay off successfully. So that's something that I don't notice happening on base sliders too much, but on the sliders that we have here, we got the benefit of having a tackle battle, and we were able to get the pick 6 because of it. Now we see Tom Brady's potentially frustrated a little bit, and we finally get some pressure on him. Again, another realistic thing. We haven't gotten much pressure until now, but we finally got a turnover on him. We got him frustrated, which is what happens in real life, and then we're able to kind of spiral it downhill from there. As you can see, we're going to get 2 sacks in a row here. And we're going to pick that one up for a touchdown. So this is usually how these things go. The momentum continues to build on itself, which does not necessarily happen in the base sliders. Had those couple turnovers not happened, though, it would have been 14-14 at the half, which would have been a very realistic score. So I've just gotten lucky here off these 2 scores right before the end of the half. But I called plays to try and target that. I recognize we got the pick 6 on the last play. They're going to be frustrated, so we brought heat on the next play in an effort to try and generate another turnover, maybe another bad pass, a fumble, and we get the fumble for a touchdown. So even though the score doesn't kind of recognize it right now, stats-wise, everything looks pretty, straightforward, pretty realistic. Tom Brady having a realistic day throwing the ball. Obviously, the interception, not necessarily the most realistic thing, but 9 of 16 for 149. That's a decent day passing the ball for Tom Brady, at least through one half. If you were playing, let me just say this, if you were playing all Madden and you were playing base sliders right now, Tom Brady would be like 20 for 20 for 250 yards through the first half. So that's going to set him back 5 yards. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters. And then, like you saw there, the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that you're going to get more realistic penalties. penalties happen a lot in the NFL, and people don't necessarily want to recognize it. They don't want to play with as many penalties in their games, and I get that. It's frustrating when you have penalties called against you. And it's frustrating when something like this happens and a couple penalties happen in a row and it just slows down the game. But when you're playing on base sliders, you don't get very many penalties at all, and you really don't get many penalties against the AI. Mostly you get them against yourself. So these sliders give a bit more of a realistic penalty setting. They make specific penalties happen more. I know, defensive pass interference happens all the time in the NFL, and you rarely see it in Madden. So we adjust for that. We adjust for face masks, holding, everything like that. Everything's adjusted and accounted for in these sliders, and they work pretty nicely. We're not going to use our timeouts. We're just going to run the ball a little bit here. I don't like to kneel the ball. I know that's realistic. You guys can do that if you wish to. I just prefer not to. I don't see a reason to waste my opportunities. I'm going to hand the ball off, and, you never know. You might be able to break a run for 80 yards and get a touchdown out of it. So that's going to take us to the half. Keep in mind, guys, it would be 14-14 here if I didn't benefit from 2 turnovers in a row. So it would be potentially 14-14, maybe 14-10. But it would be a very close game, very realistic game. And keep in mind, there is a lot of time still for the Patriots to come back. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to try and just control the game, control the clock, control the ball, and try and roll out of here with a win. Play that I really like is out of the full house here. If you go with PA Packers posts, this is actually a really interesting play, and we might get it to work here because there's only one safety deep. But usually that wide receiver coming on the closer underneath route is able to get open, as you can see there. Now that corner did a very good job of covering that route, but a lot of times you can get that person a lot more open than that. I didn't want to hurry this up. I'm just going to call a timeout rather than spiking it. And I'm just going to call some coach suggestions from here on out. See, that's what you'll see. Rookie quarterbacks, low overall. They will occasionally miss passes. It's going to be more difficult than if you were throwing with a Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to hit all of his passes. Tyree Jackson, who's a 69 as opposed to a 99, is going to miss passes. It's just how it is.
When you see zone defense and you know you got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
The last play on the completion got him half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5.
Ooh, a beautiful diving catch by Hurd. I don't know that he really needed to dive on that one, but a nice animation there. We're going to hit him with a play action here. See if we can get Reid open coming across again. I just kind of threw that one away because whoever was on coverage on him, Bentley, did a really good job covering him up.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him to find it.
And he comes back with 1 complete.
I don't know if you guys have been noticing it, but the tackle animations are a lot more diverse. You know, it seems like every play ends in a slightly different tackle. And maybe it's something else, but you know, to my knowledge, it seems like that's a complete result of the sliders that we have it on and the reduced tackle setting. That seems to be what made the most difference for us. There we go, another nice stiff arm by Geis using his physical abilities. Geis is actually a very underrated runner in Madden. He's only like a 79 or 80 whenever you start out with him, but he's got like 90 trucking to start with, and a really good running back out of LSU. Has a lot of potential, especially being that he's learning behind Adrian Peterson right now, who just recently ran for over 1,000 yards and almost led the league in rushing, or did lead the league in rushing yards. I think that there's a very bright future ahead of Darius Geis, that's for sure. I'm just going to call some random plays here. Corner blitz, see if we can get Tom Brady rolling around. I definitely don't think that was a designed quarterback run. I jumped the ball on that one as soon as it was snapped, and I think I got a hand on Brady, and that resulted in him looking like he was running there. I don't really know, to be honest. Someone's going to be open on this, which is not good. Can I switch to one of these linebackers and bring him back? Kelvin Benjamin with a jump ball. That one's a little frustrating, but I'm not going to complain when I'm up by this much. I should have switched to the defensive back and picked that off anyway. I'm just kind of letting it roll and just kind of showing you guys what this is like. So that's what you'll see a lot. Broken tackles by the AI. But as you can see, I mean, they don't have ridiculous rushing stats. You know, if you do a good job of matching up your personnel and coming out in a heavy set when they're in a heavy set, they're not going to go for massive runs all the time. You know, they might break one here and there, but, you know, for the most part, you'll be able to bring them down. You know, combined on the game, it looks like they have like 30 rushing yards. So obviously, these sliders don't allow crazy amounts of runs or anything like that. Third and goal. Let's see what they can do. Tom Brady, can we pick him off again? We're going to drop our linebackers into coverage and hope for the best here. We're going to press up, though. A great pass by Tom Brady to James White on the outside. Good read by him that time. Didn't throw it into coverage. Found him open to the outside, and he's going to score another touchdown. Maybe. Booth review. I highly doubt that's overturned. Yeah. That's going to bring up 35-14.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts.
So remember, you can essentially take 2 touchdowns off the board on my end. We're at 21-14 essentially in a pretty close game if it wasn't for those 2 touchdowns in the last minute of the half off of turnovers. So, and I do want to also make sure that you guys know that I'm really good at calling plays and designing the way that I call my offense and defense against the AI. If I was really trying hard, I could beat the AI like 70-0 on all Madden without any sliders. So I do want to make sure that you guys know that. Obviously, I'm basically saying that this result won't be the same for everybody. So keep that in mind.
a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Flush to his right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
Lawrence Guy's going to come away with a sack.
Busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
All right, so we're going to call Hurd. I want you to go deep.
Especially because they felt like they left little brother down back there in the pocket.
Ooh. McCourty almost made a beautiful play for that ball. Covered it well.
With no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
And just a single punt for him in the
That one, no, it's so close. I was thinking I put that one out of bounds, but I did not. All right, I think at this point, yeah, I'm just not even going to bother. I'm just going to call whatever defensive plays it gives me. Hope that the clock runs down pretty quickly here. That way I can get back to the menu and show you guys kind of what the scores have been for all my games so far. I give you guys a good idea of what it'll be like when you guys play the AI.
Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it.
Spotlight Gronk.
What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. It's a gain of 5, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Yeah, we actually moved up in the draft this year in this franchise. What we did was we swapped picks with the Buccaneers. We gave them Josh Norman. We gave them Chris Thompson and Josh Doxson because they needed a 3rd wide receiver, they needed a good corner, and they need a running back. Those are some of their main needs as a team. So they moved back only 10 picks from 5 to 15 for us to move up and give them essentially 3 starters for their team, which is a decent trade. We gave them our 15th pick and took their 5th overall pick. And then the move up allowed us to go ahead and grab Devin White, which is a huge pickup for this team. Allows us to have some freedom at linebacker, to have both Reuben Foster and Devin White in the middle. And then we moved Brown to the outside. And we ended up with... we had Kerrigan at the other outside linebacker spot, but swapped with the guy that was the linebackers for Jake Ryan. Jake Ryan's more tailored to what we want to do. He's more of a pass coverage type of guy. A little bit quicker. And Ryan Kerrigan, a little bit older, is more tailored to what he was trying to do. He wanted more of an edge rusher, somebody that could generate some pressure, generate some sacks. So that's kind of the difference there, and why we made that swap there. But this defense looks pretty good with Landon Collins back in the back. And then I think Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie will actually play pretty well at corner for them this year in real life. But you obviously can't simulate somebody's performance like that whenever you create them yourself in Madden. Oh, I was close to that one. Brady likes to force the ball to Gronkowski. Even in Madden, it's pretty clear that that's essentially his favorite target.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing now is Brady.
Good pass coverage there. Troy Apke, I believe that was. That's going to give us 3 minutes left on the clock. We should be able to run all that out. And then take you guys back to the menu and just show you some scores and everything.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense.
I really want to take a shot here, but I don't have the speed advantage. Oh! And they're going to strip the ball out. A very unique strip animation there.
You and I have been around teams, and they all have goals for games, don't they? And every team we've ever talked to says what?
No turnover.
Don't turn the ball over. 0. And they were that close to getting it done. Won't cost them today, but they'll hate that when they're watching the game tape.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the
Should be a holding call.
Get the call.
Holding offense.
Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always making sure no one's holding.
Here's Brady to throw. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll get it out near the 35, right at the 34 here. A gain of 6 there on first.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation is a
Alright, so this takes us down to the 2-minute warning. Not going quite as we planned here. There's not much of a chance for the Patriots to come back.
And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. And getting this
Travis Benjamin actually being one of the main targets here for Brady.
Give him 15 yards on that one, and New England has a first down.
If I could lock up Gronk and spotlight Benjamin, that would be good.
And this is incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude.
And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start bringing some heat.
Can get to any quarterback.
Just because I don't want Brady to sit here and pass all over my defense as easily as he is right now. So we're going to man up across the field and bring heat.
Throwing again. Brady. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. On first down, Brady goes underneath here to White. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 10 more there and another first down. Now they got to get to the line quickly.
I also would say that what's going on right now is not totally unlike Brady. Very Brady-like drive here. Pretty quick, short passes, trying to get his team back in the game. Definitely not giving up. It's very Brady-like to me. Yeah, he definitely stepped out of bounds, so that'll be a penalty.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So take away the touchdown.
We're going to take this back to cover 6 invert.
To say that type of a play just added to their misery, right?
Again, they'll throw with Brady. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach.
Just out of pride, I really don't want to let them into the end zone.
Brings up third down. New England on third down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Now a play fake. Brady.
It's going to be a nice toe tap touchdown right at the end of time here.
His 5th touchdown now on the year.
We're going to go ahead and, honestly, we're just going to jump forward to the end of the game. Just to save time, because I would have run out the clock anyway. So that's going to be a nice 35-21 win over the New England Patriots. They were 1-3 coming into this game. We're 2-2, so we did have a bit of an advantage in that regard. Their confidence was down, so not too much of a surprise there. The surprise was those 2 touchdowns right at the end of the half. So you take away those 2 scores, and that game was, you know, close to the end, 21-21, or I might have ended up scoring at some point to take that lead. But let's go ahead and show you guys what the scores of the games have been so far. All of them have been relatively close, just so that you guys get an idea of, you know, what these sliders are and what the point of them is. The point of them is to be more realistic. I mean, plain and simple, that's what it is. If you stuck around this far in the video and you appreciated me showing you that gameplay, or this helped you out at all, feel free to leave a like down below. As always, that helps us out. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys would like to see next. So, going into my schedule here, this is what we had, and we'll end it right after this. So first game was 23-17 over the Dallas Cowboys, so a close win by a touchdown. I believe that was an overtime game. And then we lost week 2 in our user game by a last-second field goal, 20-17, so another close game. Week 3 versus a user team, we won 26-10. It was a decently close game until garbage time when I scored a couple extra points. So, another decently close game. And then 17-13, a close loss last week to the Carolina Panthers. And then 35-21 this week. A pretty big win. So a decent spread of games, mostly pretty close games and pretty realistic scores, I would say. Nothing over 35 points, obviously. So, it's pretty realistic. If you want realistic sliders, consider using these sliders. I'll give you guys a second to look at them one last time before the video ends. So take a screenshot of the sliders for your personal use if you would like to. And I have to stop clicking on the wrong thing so that I can actually get to the right gameplay sliders here for you. Alright, so here are the player skill sliders if you want to take a picture of those. Now I'm going to scroll down to CPU skill for those. Special teams, game options. And then here are the penalty sliders. I would say maybe turn face mask up a little bit, which is what I'm going to do here. Because we didn't experience any face masks that game. Obviously, you're going to want like 1 or 2 every now and then occasionally. 1 or 2 across a couple games like that. So, pretty realistic. I hope that you guys agree. Let me know down in the comment section if you agree or disagree. But like I said, any feedback is welcome. I'll see you guys in the next episode, which should be an episode of that Cincinnati Bengals relocation. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope this helped you out. I'll see you guys in the next one.